What's up? Episode 3 of The Expanse. Okay, just so we're all caught up to speed, because I'm reading all the comments as I'm going through. So the water tank thing, my bad. All right, I thought the homie was saying torture's outlawed, you got to put him in the tank. And I had thought, oh, he's just saying you're using the wrong kind of torture. So if that was my premise. So when I saw him in the tank, right, when I saw him in the prestige tank, I thought, okay, he's being tortured somehow. And then I tried to fill in how that was working. But a lot of people corrected me, said, I'll read this one. Putting the belter in the tank was procedure. It simulates 0G, which is what the belters are used to with the lower gravity. So they're not torturing him. They're specifically not torturing him anymore. But that also makes the conversation with that guy and the Indian lady more interesting, with that female Dalsum more interesting, because that reflects on the power dynamic again, right? When he walks up to her, you can see visibly like she's anxious and kind of nervous. And then they also blatantly make it clear the power dynamic when the camera, I think it's over his left shoulder, but you see she's in a chair below him as the camera like moves forward. And I'm going to get the dialogue wrong, but he says something along the lines of, how is it that you're 2 heartbeats away from basically running this planet and you have no allegiances, you don't owe anybody anything, you're not, like, where did you come from type thing. That makes it really interesting because he knows, and he's clearly in a position of power and he's above her in that hierarchy. And someone broke down the government too, which I want to talk about. But he knows she's torturing somebody. He knows she's doing something that has been outlawed, that's illegal. But he also knows he can't do anything about it, which makes her more interesting. He knows you're torturing somebody, and we have treaties, we have laws, we have rules in place. And because we have these laws and these rules in places, we also have ways to enforce those laws. If it was anybody else, I could arrest them, I could sanction them, I could publicly lambaste them, I could take them to court, I could remove all their assets, bankrupt their companies, do whatever he would normally do. But against this person, he can't he can't do anything. And that makes that pretty interesting to me. I messed up on what was actually happening in the tank, but it makes that scene more interesting, even though I got it wrong, right? So yeah, I do read all the comments. So if I mess up anything in this episode, or if there's a cool Easter egg, or hey, maybe you didn't catch this, whatever, just put it in there. And then I'm going through them one at a time. So if anybody else is watching these sort of with me, then I'll sort of address the things that I messed up, or hey, here was an Easter egg that we didn't pick up on in the original one. And then we can all kind of be on the same page going forward. But yeah, let's get into this. Episode 3. Okay. So I'm immediately thrown through a loop here. Okay. I'm immediately thrown through a loop as I'm not sure if this is literally picking up in media res, or if they explain how this gets shown later. Like, are we later in the timeline and then we're going to go back? And the reason I'm thinking that is because Alex said, after he'd recorded that message, Alex said something along the lines of, they had their jammers up. Sorry, man. You made the message, but it didn't go anywhere. So that's why I'm thinking maybe they do something on the Martian ship to finally push it out, and they're going to explain how we got there. I don't know. I'm not sure what this thing is. That little blue device there. I don't think I've seen that on any other character. Is it not the weirdest thing that he's visiting this? Look, it's not the weirdest thing he's visiting a prostitute or a whorehouse, but he has this chick as a regular, and they didn't really, or at least I didn't pick up on how they knew each other. It didn't seem as if she gave him any long glances that would key the viewer into like, oh, maybe they already knew each other before some type of incident or assault had happened there. So I'm not sure what their relationship is. Oh. Huh. Okay. Okay. I like this. I like this. How do you not get this? Easy. Yeah, duh. I got it. I've done the Duolingo. Did anybody find the knife under the bed? Are they ever gonna address that thing? I mean, they would at a certain point, right? But both of them catching feels. I like how they have Thomas Jane's character really not paying attention, just kind of browsing Reddit on his phone. It's a nice way to characterize his character. He's standing in the back. I think he's got like one leg cocked. He's kind of tilted at the side, really not paying attention. It just sets up, it portrays his character like beautifully without him really ever saying a line of dialogue. You look at him in the back and his posture as opposed to everybody else who's sort of actively engaged with the police captain or the police chief or whatever her exact title is. Everybody in this scene is like looking at her, paying attention, asking questions. It's just cool. And I like, hold on, let me make sure that it actually is. It looks like his thing is cracked with this little yellow line there. I don't know. It just you wouldn't make a like it's such a minor thing, but you normally wouldn't give a character a cracked phone. But in this case, yeah, he would have had this phone for a long time. He doesn't really care about his clothes or his appearance, like to the extent that he's wearing super pristine suits every day and everything is immaculate, right? So sure, he'd have a cracked sort of PDA or phone or whatever it is. It looks like it's cracked and like scratched up too. Getting her essential oils in, can't get away from it, even in space. So I wonder if he still has the, I'm just gonna call it the cocaina. He had that white baggie with powder, like in one of his chesticles pockets. I don't know. Maybe they can get a guard high. That'd be me. Yeah. No. I just. No. I got it. Yeah, there's something different about this guy. They did. It said DNA match James Holden, and then his was a negative match for who he's supposed to be. Okay, no, hold on, one sec. 632. All right, I just because I feel like I'm losing my mind here. Let me double check this. Just needs to reach one ship, one station, then it'll spread. Don't count on it. Their jammers are in range. Right. Okay. So, shed, not sen, shed. Okay. So the Martians have the message, but right now it didn't spread anywhere. I was getting confused because I feel like, yeah, my initial reaction is that this is going to go back and explain how it got pushed out, but then I'm wondering why he would tell the guard the message is already out there when they said it wasn't. So, hold on, that was a lot of nouns. Okay. Belters get thirsty. OPA fans the flames. Mars get the excuse to sweep in and pass. Okay. I like that. Ooh, I like that. Not now. It's the same guy. Acqua Beltalora. Acqua Beltalora. Yeah. Mother Gaia, sweet titty juice.
Do you like to laugh? No.
Oh my god.
I like to laugh.
I love how this is just straight up space Mormon. I love the starched shirt.
Great. Now I know what you're thinking. Mormons aren't funny, but
it is a Mormon.
once a week, and I'd love to prove you wrong. Keep trying.
Oh,
Do, brother.
right. Okay. Ooh. Whoa. Okay, I like what they did there. Someone threw a beer bottle at this chick. Oh, yep, over her head, like right there. Okay.
You're not gonna do anything about that?
You take it.
Sorry.
Oh, I drop off the board.
This is exactly
I like.
this is exactly what I was waiting for. Was it wouldn't be out of his character to not care anymore, and I'm waiting to see what they introduce or how they explain why this one is different to him, right? When he walked out of the captain's office, there were cases, and they've set his character up to do that, and especially in this scene that just happened there, where the guy threw the beer bottle. Oh yeah, he went that way. Whatever. Like they've set it up that He's let things like this slide before. He's had cases closed. Whatever. Okay, I don't care. This one's different, and I'm wanting to see what the backstory is that makes him care about this girl so much, or what happened so much. What do you got there? A Zune, space age iPad, pillboxed. He's getting his fish oil in. Let's him read his biometrics.
Child. Yes, on a 22-acre farm in Montana.
Oh, okay, got it.
By father's genetic mix. And which female did you gestate? Well, Mother Elise had the...
Okay, then never mind. I thought he was adopted. I didn't actually take that literally. I was thinking, hi, mother, okay, all right. He's adopted and he bounced between different homes. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so okay, this is not this is not what I thought. Okay, sure. Okay, all right.
Have you known that Naomi Nagata was an OPA operative? What?
All right, he can.
2 advanced degrees in fusion drive design.
Oh, and that you have to imagine that super close zoom on his sort of what are they called? Micro expressions. When his iris sort of expanded, he's reading his biometrics, but it's also letting him gauge maybe his emotional states or his reaction to thing, and like sort of pick and prod at the conversation. He can kind of throw these what started off as baseless accusations or terms, or hey, did you do this, did you do this, and see if he gets any reaction, and then he can kind of weasel his way in.
These are the hallmark skill sets of terrorists.
So he can logically make a jump from, okay, you have an extraordinary engineer, and he can fill in the gaps with this other information, which maybe is true, I don't know, but it could be false. But he picked up on his reaction because now he's questioning his own crew members, and then that lets him, get in there and sort of change the narrative and put them against each other, and just, it's pretty cool.
I don't believe you. You do now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Inception type shit.
I warned Christian that I was a little preoccupied. You seem pretty relaxed, bub.
Craig, I've put new points on the dots. Game of cricket.
I have a steady.
That's genius. Oh, that's so smart. That one line right there shows how tight both of the people on this side of the table are. This side, you don't know what side I'm talking about. The 2 Indian people. Oh, that's so beautiful. He knows exactly when to pull the other guy out of the conversation to let her do. Oh, genius.
Use us.
Sure.
And he already look at his look on his face. He already knows what's gonna happen. He already knows he stepped into the trap. It's interesting they don't have handcuffs. They're not bound in any way. Ooh. uh, uh, Oh, and then it's a little more obvious his accent. People were saying Haas is a slang term, like cowboy or chief, whatever. And it's pretty obvious his his southern accent is coming out here. And yeah, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. The way they're interrogating people and sort of putting thoughts about each other in the other person's head. It's nice.
I don't know, good God.
Chief engineer, pure and clean water company, currently assigned to the Canterbury. Master of, it's not very high resolution. It's hard to read. Master of something, Mars University and Mars Fusion, something, Masters of Science, Aerospace, and something else. I can't really read those series stations.
By whom?
I like how he says by whom, because you know if he said by who, somebody in the comments, actually, it would be by whom, whomsoever.
Mars killed the cats!
Red, sure.
Russians the water.
The fuck is this guy? I respect this guy. Actually, you didn't answer any of them.
You haven't answered any of my questions.
Yeah. What do we got now? Naomi. Snake, how did you sneak cigarettes in to shadow Moses?
I took free tutorials and tested through.
Skillshare.
I don't believe in causes and I will not be your scapegoat.
She's very smart. She's very smart to pick up on that immediately. Just from him asking about Phoebe, pieced all that together. I hate this dude's eyebrows. They purposely left them like that too. I hate it. I hate it. They did it on purpose too. You can maybe see her perspiring. Well, she did that on purpose. And dude, in the cinematography, if you notice, look at, pay attention to how the camera is tilting. Look at the axis that the camera's on and look at it rotate. It's so good. Everything is off axis. No, she doesn't, it's portraying the character's emotional state, being like constantly hounded and you can't quite get your footing. You don't really know. I mean, you know the next question that he's going to ask, but in this space, you can't quite get your bearings on this guy or this room or what the question is. She figured out his first little verbal barb, but she's cracking under this. I feel like she did the hand thing on purpose, but maybe not because they just did this earlier. But this guy reminds me of Data. Sorry for the English people. Data. Data.
Cant to get away from a drug dealer who wanted you dead.
Well, that's true.
And he looks at the other people. What are you going to do? This guy. Okay. I'm filling in the gaps here, but they took... Alex was the first one, then Holden, then we saw Naomi, and yet the medic and Amos didn't get the cyborg level interrogator. Maybe they got something identical to that, or maybe they just were very quick to parse through. It's the pilot, Holden, and then Naomi are really the key people, specifically Holden and Naomi. And we don't really need to send like the A+ level interrogator to get information out of those guys. They're not. Maybe they were smart enough, or they pieced together the group dynamic here. But somehow, Holden and Naomi were pulled out first, and then the other two people got done. Then Naomi joins them. Routine surveillance of the diplomatic.
Routine surveillance of diplomatic corps
logged an urgent communique between Ambassador de Graaf. Okay.
Between Ambassador de Graaf
and his counterpart, the ambassador for right.
and his counterpart on Mars.
Right after that call, we picked up a spike and chatter between Mars High Command.
Shortly thereafter, we picked up a spike and chatter between Mars High Command and 9
CRN facilities believed to manufacture stealth composites. Okay.
MCR
All right.
facilities.
I'm not completely fluent in the language, so when they're like throwing a lot of nouns and stuff out there, hold on, let me make sure I'm like really understanding exactly what they're saying.
Someone who's trying to start a war.
Huh. Okay. That's thrown me through a loop. All right. Huh. Okay, hold on. I'm going to cut all this because it's just going to be sitting here doing this for a second. Okay. I really like the backstory they've given people. I'm still confused as to how that message got out after Alex said in the last episode their jammers were on. That's still confusing to me, but apparently there's no Witcher timeline shit going on. I'm not sure how his message got out. I'm not sure why Alex's character would lie there. What is that in context of the conversation they're having on the shuttle? Why would he lie about that? The only thing I could really think of is since he worked for the Martian Navy, he assumed that they have a tracker and that it's turned on and that it covers X amount of range from the ship. So he could guesstimate that, yeah, we're in range of the ship. So the tracker would have been on without being 100% confident that it actually did get blocked. So that's still a little confusing to me. Okay, so how did that actually get through? My interpretation would have been like the Martian ship would have been the only one to have it and no one else would have seen it based on what I thought that meant from the previous episode. Right, she did lay out somebody. You can interrogate that guy. That guy doesn't look like he was on any of the dating profiles. I'm trying to look at the other screens. Is there something like in the corner? Is somebody opening a thing? I mean, maybe the resolution is not great enough to pick up on any of the like really fine details, but I'm not really seeing anything. I mean, she's wearing a red jumpsuit, and I gathered that one guy who's getting beat up was wearing a red jumpsuit to reflect he's a Martian. But I don't know.
You want to take it? Go.
Oh, this girl. Oh, and that. Okay, that would make sense why earlier in the episode he said maybe you should stay in tonight if that's some type of foreshadowing. Okay, that's pretty smart dialogue. It's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. I really liked everything that just happened there when they had their conversation. Well, actually, let me just go back so I can at least like leave it on what I'm talking about. It shows the level of history and respect and love that they both have for each other, for him to still be able to have a conversation with her after what happened. Even when he starts off by saying, well, at least you stabbed me in the front. His response wasn't, what the fuck, you bitch, you sold me out, you did that, right? That has sort of happened before, and he's seen her do that to other people. But that little line and his tone in delivering it also sets the stage for the level of history that these two characters have had. And then it made sense, right? As soon as he said, and you took off down the tree, and you took off for the tree, and you were halfway there before anyone realized what was really going on. Before he even says you'll do anything to win, you understand what that means, that she doesn't play by the rules, that she's willing to sort of throw the chess board just up in the air and play her own game and completely think outside of the box and do things that no one else is willing to do or has thought about doing or would do in order to get what she wants. And he beautifully summarizes it later when he just says you'll do anything to win, and he references her father. So every character is sort of getting a little bit more of their history introduced there, which is really nice. Ooh.
Stay calm, okay?
Mbagle.
Call Ting when you get.
Remember the Cant.
And this fucking dude's putting in a world star hip hop too? This dude with the camera right here.
Remember the Cant.
Come on, subtitles. Come on, Amazon subtitles. Remember the Cant? Remember the Cant? Come on, this is a definitive statement. Put a period, put an exclamation mark. You just killed me. Remember the Cant? Man, that was weird, right?
Remember the Cant.
Aw, come on. Who's that dude with the terrible hair? No Country for Old Men or whatever? What's the most you ever lost in a coin toss? his little hydraulic thing. Okay. All right. Well, okay. I gotta, if there's a way to turn off autoplay, somebody let me know. How do we turn off autoplay? I just want to pause and like, okay. So that set up a lot more backstory for the characters, which I really appreciated and enjoyed. I liked the interrogation and everything that happened in the interrogation, sort of pitting them against each other, and that guy sort of throwing things out there and seeing what sticks and then running with that. I liked how they would find a little thing and then build upon that and then put them in that pen in a specific order. It's intentional that they take Holden next. It's intentional that before they put Naomi back in there, the other two people are in there. Naomi is the last one, as they're trying to paint the narrative that she's a agent. And maybe she is, right? But they're trying to paint a narrative that she's the agent. So she's the last one into the room. Everyone can talk amongst themselves and build it. It's that there's a reason that ordering is important. And then setting more backstory for the Indian lady, setting more backstory for the government and how that works, and then introducing this completely new sort of third party, and going into more depth on Ceres and the fight there and stuff, adding in that Andrew Dawes. I'm still confused. I must have missed something, but I'm still confused as to why Alex would say their jammers were in range if that's not the case. And I went back to the previous episode, and yeah, I didn't misremember anything. He specifically says, I wouldn't get your hopes up, their jammers are in range, something like that. So I'm not sure how that makes sense. Like, what am I missing that still makes sense, right? I wasn't expecting the detective to die. I was expecting the girl to die. I was expecting the prostitute or the whatever. I was expecting the prostitute to die, not him. And then that's just going to cause more problems because the one dude is filming it. So that's going on Ceres World Star. And then that's going to pit maybe the police crew against the police crew, which is an Earth organization, against the Belters, who are against the Martians. So even on that space station, there's all three of those factions against each other. Yeah, I'm still in my head. I'm still struggling to deal with how the jammer thing works, but everything else was really good. I mean, even the cinematography for the interrogation thing was just so good. Just so good. All right. That's done. Let me post this up and then we'll keep going.